My name is Jeff Sakharov here in University Career Services, and today we're going to be speaking briefly about Skype interview tips. Many employers these days are going to a virtual format where they're using Skype or other types of video conferencing software where they can interview with a candidate remotely so as to save money and time and make a more efficient process. And so there are some definitive tips that you want to consider while engaging in a Skype interview. We're going to touch on those here in the next few minutes. So the first thing in preparing for an interview with Skype is just like any other interview, is doing your homework. Make sure you know everything there is to know within reason about the organization, about what they do, about their competitors, about their news. Same standard rules as you would prepare for any interview, is making sure you're knowledgeable and you've done your background homework and can speak intelligently about the organization and your interest in working for them. So that is true for any interview. Prepare your surroundings. So when you're preparing for a Skype interview and you're doing it with an iPad or on your desktop, you want to make sure the background that the person's going to see behind you is organized. You want to make sure it's neat. You want to make sure the lighting is appropriate. So you might want to play with that, because if the sunlight's coming in behind you and it's too bright, you might look washed out. If it's too dark, it's going to be hard to see and it might interrupt your connection. So play with the overhead lighting or some accent lighting and make sure that you're showing up on the screen in an illuminated way, and that the background of what they're going to see looks neat and organized and professional. Similar to any other interview, you want to dress the part. Even though it's a Skype interview, you don't want to downplay the significance or the seriousness or importance of the interview. So make sure you're dressing up to match the culture of the organization you're going to be interviewing with, be that a suit or business casual or casual, depending on the organization. And of course, having done your homework and researched the organization, you should have a pretty decent sense of what the expectation is. And, as a word of caution, if you don't know, it's probably best to always caution on the side of being a little bit more conservative than underdressed. And certainly UCS can help guide you if you have questions about particular organizations. Focus on the camera, not yourself. So, if you've ever used Skype or any type of other video conferencing, FaceTime or whatnot, you know that you need to, when you look at where the camera is what the other person, to them it looks like you're looking right at them. If you're looking at the screen and looking at your face on the screen, it looks like to the viewer that you're not making eye contact. So though it might seem a little awkward, what you want to do is focus on where the actual camera is on your device, so the person on the other end is seeing you looking at them. And it might be helpful if you move the little box that has your image up to close to where the camera is, so you're looking in that same direction, so you can see yourself, but you're still looking in the eye of the camera. So make sure you're aware of that, because as you know from doing probably other conversations via Skype, when you're not looking at that camera, it looks as though you're looking off in the distance or not making eye contact. Engage in active listening and nonverbals, just like you would with any interview. Make sure you smile, make sure you're nodding, make sure that you're showing them that you're listening, you're engaged, you're not distracted, there's nothing going on in the background, you're not checking your email or anything at all that you think they can or cannot see. Now, of course, with a Skype interview, they can't see what's right in front of you on the table. So if you had some notes or cue cards to help you through the interview, you glance down on, that could probably work, but you want to make sure you're being cautious so it doesn't look like you're reading anything or being overly distracted. So make sure you're engaging in those good nonverbals and you're showing them good body language. Practice first. If you're uncertain or if you haven't had much experience with interviewing, by all means come in and have a mock interview with a UCS counselor. If you've never done a Skype interview, you can practice with a friend, you can practice with one of us, but it is a little bit of it can feel a bit awkward at first. So if it's something you haven't done before, I'd recommend you come in and practice, especially if the technology is new to you or you're concerned about the connectivity or anything at all like that. Some things you can do to make you feel more at ease. Basically, those are the things I consider going into a Skype interview. Nothing will supplant the need to practice and rehearsing your answers and expecting what they're going to ask you. And UCS is here to help you with any part of the interview process you need help with. You can come in and see us for a mock interview. You can come in and just ask some questions. We have walk-ins every day from 1 to 4, or you can make an appointment via our website. And as you probably also know, UCS is everywhere on social media, so you can follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Pinterest, as well as some other social media outlets. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully it was helpful, and good luck on your interview.